Evening, everyone. Welcome back to day two of InnovateX. This event is organized by Creating Opportunities, a global platform dedicated to providing resources and opportunities for individuals to help achieve their full potential. Today, we continue our journey of empowering ideas and inspiring leaders. For those who might be joining us for the first time, InnovateX is a pioneering virtual fellowship designed to inspire, educate, and connect South Asian undergraduate students with a passion of entrepreneurship. The program's objective is to nurture entrepreneurial talent by providing participants with the necessary skill, knowledge, and networks to transform their ideas into successful ventures. Creating Opportunity works towards its goal by providing funding, training, mentorship, and other resources to individuals and organizations committed to creating positive changes in their communities. The organization operates on a global scale and is dedicated to addressing the unique needs and challenges faced by communities worldwide. InnovateX embodies this mission by equipping South Asian undergraduate students with essential entrepreneurial skills, exposing them to real-life success stories, and creating a virtual platform for networking with peers, mentors, and industry leaders. My name is Tamanna and I am from Nepal. Today, me along with Savindi are honored to be your moderators. It's an absolute pleasure to be a part of this inspiring event where we bring together innovative minds from across South Asia to share knowledge and foster growth. I would like to inform that we have placed a Google form in the chat box regarding the feedback and the certificate. I kindly request all the participants to fill it out. Please be consistent throughout the event as we can circulate the attendance sheet anytime. Also, please don't forget to check out Creating Opportunities pages on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. The link is also available in the chat box. Also, I would also like to request all the participants to turn on their video if it's possible. Now, let's get started with our exciting lineup for this evening. To kick things off, we have Dr. Arijit Bhattacharya, who will be speaking about funding tech and financial management in startups. Dr. Bhattacharya's expertise will provide us with valuable insights. Over to you, Dr. Bhattacharya.
Thank you so much for the lovely introduction, Tamanna. Really happy to be in front of all of you students. I actually love all of you. Regarding my background, I'm founder of India's one of the first game development company called Virtual Infocom, which I started back in 1998 when I was a kid, and I had only 49 rupees in my pocket. Now, Virtual Infocom is a global company working in various different parts of the world, and worked with amazing game titles like India's first superhero Shaktiman, Mr. Mukesh Khanna, who became in as a character. Plus, we worked with several different movie titles, and we have our own game universe called Fight of the Legends. Along with that, I am founder of Co-Innovate Ventures, which is a funding and acceleration body, which usually supports startups in their growth stage and scale-up stage. Plus, I'm founder of World Leader Summit, which is one of the largest leadership summit and tech event across the world with 97 plus countries footfall inside our platform. And I sit as a jury member of Startup India Award, which is run by Government of India. Traveled more than 42 plus countries in my life multiple times, meeting with several different people. So today I have got an interesting topic, but due to time, I'm not sure how much I can do justice with the topic. It's a vast subject. When you talk about funding, funding is not a small subject to define within half an hour, but I do have funding and tech both alongside. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to share my screen and try to see that if I can do a little bit of justice with the said subject. Hope that is fine. Okay, so give me a thumbs up from any one of you if you can see the screen and you can see it properly. Yep.
Yeah, it's visible, sir.
Super. Okay. So I will skip all my introduction and other things, but then when you talk about funding, the basic thing that you need is creating a pitch deck for your startup. I'm sure that many of you have your business idea. I don't know how many of you have started your venture, I don't know how many of you are profitable. Even though you are in 3 different layers of stages, the first thing that you need to do is basically when you try to raise capital for your company, you need to have a basic pitch deck. In today's time, in 2024, you need a minimum 10 to 12 slider as a pitch deck, not more than 14 sliders. Don't make it very, very large, which will not actually help you in any way. Entrepreneurship for me is always about taking a lot of risk and eventually enjoying the risk at the end of the day. And alongside you sustain your business, it is not at all about only raising capital or creating a valuation. But then when you run your business, you need to practically create a value, and then eventually to grow, you need money. I call it as a riding tiger. So initially, when you start your business, you adopt a cub, you feed it with milk with the intention that one day it will grow, it will become big, and you will ride on the top of it. But this is tiger. So when you ride tiger, that's your business. You have a risk that if you stop, the tiger will eat you. So eventually you need to feed it with meat now. Now it's big. You can't feed it with milk. So that meat is your money. So when you call about money-making process, first thing that you need to talk about is what you want. What is your call to action? What is the summary of your business, right? What exactly you do? Is it a web app application development company? Is it a augmented reality application development company? Is it a sustainable fashion development company? Is it a service company? Is it a food tech? Is it a med tech? Who are you, right? The second crucial point in your pitch deck, what problem you're solving. Is there a problem which you are solving? It can be like probably in common life, people are using their garments and those garments are made with chemical, and that harmful chemical can affect your skin, can affect your breathing, and it can cause a lot of damage in your body. So do you have a business which is giving real proper color, which is less chemical oriented, and people don't get damaged with their skin or their breathing problems are not there? So if you are solving such kind of thing, make a slide, which will be your second slide, talking about the problem that is there in the market and the way you are solving it. Now, the third slide is always talking about your solution. So how will you talk about your solution? Making it brief and to the point structure. Example, number one, I'll take an example. For an example, maybe you are creating a food tech startup, right? And you're giving healthy breakfast to people. You created an application. Through that application, people can order healthy breakfast. And depending on your body balance, your calorie consumption, it is giving you maybe a very healthy breakfast with vegetable options, right? So you say that, you know what, our solution is we're going to give very less carbs, high protein, good fat oriented diet with less calorie. So we are using maybe chickpeas, we are using probably few bit of things which is coming from milk. We are using a very concentrated whey and combine that with a sandwich, and we are giving it as a brown bread sandwich rich with protein, vitamin, minerals, and with few bit of seed inside that, so that a person can get a healthy breakfast. So that's your third slide, talking about both your product and your solution. So first thing we learned, we need to talk about your want, why you are there in this business. Second, the problem you're solving. Third, the way you're solving it. So it can be your product, it can be your service, it can be anything, right? The fourth vital point when you raise capital is, what is your business model? How will you make money? For an example, this healthy food startup. Are you making money on subscription basis? You charge your customers on a monthly subscription, or you are charging them on a product basis, like they can order probably rupees 199 or probably 299, or is it a $5 product or $3 product? So define that very clearly. What is your business model? Is it per product, subscription, or it can be both? Or is it like you are creating a club of healthy people? If people are joining there as a club member, they are getting 1 month free delivery of free breakfast. So what's your business model? Define that in the fourth slide, right? The fifth point, can anybody else replicate it? If you have started this kind of business, can I start it as well? If not, why I can't do that? Do you have any kind of underlying magic or technology which cannot be replicated? So this can be probably coming from Ayurveda, or it can be maybe coming from Chinese medicine, or maybe from a very old high traditional dish which you are combining with your breakfast, which is not known to many people. If you have that, try to define that magical technology in your fifth slide. But remember, don't give everything away to any of the investor before you get money from them. That means when you define this fifth point in your slide, you need to understand how much you should define it. Give it a shot, like 60% you are sharing, 40% you say that on the spot of meeting discussion. Once things are fine, we can always share it. You cannot hide it everything, because if you hide it, it might happen that the investors are not interested. You might not get the money. Yeah. Sixth most vital point, marketing and sales. When you do any kind of business, to raise capital, to get money, you need a marketing and sales funnel. Until unless you get a marketing and sales funnel, it will be very difficult for anybody to understand how much sales you can do in a year. This always comes with a 3-year projection. Please remember, when you create any kind of marketing and sales funnel, your projection must be a minimum 3 years projection. It may happen that you are in idea stage, so you need to define it from zero to the whatever Z dollar that you are earning to a level of 3 years monthly breakup, step by step, so that things can be defined very properly. The most important point which people lack is competition. Do we have any kind of competition in the market? Now, this is tricky. Why it's tricky? If you say that I don't have any competition, and that is true, you don't have any competition, you are unique in your market, then you need to educate the market. Long back, it happened with me. Trust me on this. I'll just share you my storyline. So when I started back in 98, I was talking about game development. I was telling people that we are making games, which is for a complete different kind of market and user base altogether. People couldn't understood because I was way early for the market itself. Smartphone didn't exist, if you remember. In 98, Google only started. So hope you understand what I'm talking about, right? So educating of the market took me a lot of time to make them understand who we are, what we do. It happens with any new product in the market. So if you don't have competition, it is very tricky to define and penetrate a market. For new technology, that is much, much, much bigger in a bigger scale. Example, Apple, whenever they launch any kind of product which is new in the market, example, iPod, when they launched, they had to pump in a huge marketing cost to make people understand why they should leave walkie-talkie and they should have iPod. Eventually, iPods went off. Everything became inside the phone, and eventually apps becoming successful. So when you try to create something new in the market, if you have competition, that is good, because you and your competition together, you will be teaching the market about your own industry. So better you have a competition, and if you have, try to define how you are different from your competitors. You may have 6 to 7 competitors in the market, but define it very well. Are you different from them? If yes, where? It can be only one point, that is fine, but need to be defined very, very, very precisely. Yeah. Then the most important point is team. Funding doesn't happen with your pitch deck. Nobody will give you money by watching and looking at your pitch deck, how beautiful you have done that, until unless you have created an amazing team. That is crucial. I always prefer and recommend as an angel investor, or you call me as a maybe a fund creator, we always prefer minimum 2 people company, in the sense In your startup, if there is more than one partner, they are full-time, they are dedicated, then usually as investors, we are always interested. So creating your team is most crucial part in this entire exercise. If you are coming from tech background, try to get someone from management background. If you have two people like management and tech, try to get someone who understands finance. Get someone on board who understands sales. Marketing you can always hire, but sales guy and finance guy, and if it is a tech business, tech guy is the most crucial three pillars in your business. Never ever compromise in these segments. Try to dilute your equity as much as possible. Try to keep probably 40% among each other. And if you have a bigger ask, you may always dilute maximum 20% to the market, to the investors. And eventually you can grow. When you're growing, you can always dilute 10% more in the business itself. It's a different journey altogether. Cannot be taught like within 20 minutes or 25 minutes. But then definitely I'm there. If you need more inputs, I can always come and teach you guys how to do that. Ninth, the most important vital point for your business plan or your pitch deck is how will you create your milestone and your projection, which you have already defined earlier regarding your business model. Now it is time to define the financial model. The 3 years financial model always talks about your salary, your rent, your production cost, your electricity, your travel and tourism cost, food bills, miscellaneous costs, and if you have marketing cost, branding cost, make it separate always, right? Packaging cost, if you have any. Try to put as much as heading as possible in your projection and milestones, right? Last but not the least, talk about your status, where you are, what exactly you are doing, and how big you became at the moment. It can be a very small story. Say, for an example, you have got only 2 customers after a rigorous work of 3 months, which is fine. People appreciate that. But try to define that in your pitch deck. So when I'm teaching you about probably a little bit of stuff regarding creating a business plan, working on the finance, I should show you this. When you talk about your first slide, try to tell a story, right? If you can use AI tools. For example, I have used one of the AI tool to create my own avatar. Okay, try to use such kind of small applications to create an attractive face of your own team and you, and tell a story why you started your business. Yeah, and then try to find a gap in the market, understand the competitors, and so on and so forth. You go for the most crucial part after creating your pitch deck. Try to understand who is your first customer. I'll take one example. Say, okay, say I want to sell spectacles in some location, and we create a model like some optometrist will go to door. They will check their eyes and then give a small suggestion whether their eyes are okay or they need some kind of suggestion. And also they will show them some kind of frames as well, frames of specs, right? But shall we do it in a location where number of people are very less? It will be very difficult to run such kind of business. Shall we do it in a location which is very nature friendly? People will not have issues with their eyes. There, if you try to sell spectacles, it will be difficult. But instead of that, if you want to sell sunglasses over there, it might sell. So understanding a market is the most crucial thing, where you are selling it and how you are selling it. And often I have seen in startup stage, when you are in the startup stage, who is your first customer? Usually, first customers have a tendency of collaborating with the startup, handshaking with the startup, and co-build the product, right? It is very rare, but if you get such kind of customer, you are in an amazing hand. Becoming a co-developer from customer to a co-developer, that's an amazing story to tell. If you have that, if you can grab someone like this, mind-blowing. It's a great story for investors, right? Um, well, do you have any kind of MVP, or you are raising capital for your MVP stage? MVP means your minimum viable product. If you're in student stage, if you have created some kind of tangible product, or maybe a non-tangible product, maybe a software, maybe a game, maybe an app, try to soft launch it. Tell others that you don't have money, but with a limited amount of resource and your brain, you have launched it. But now you are looking for raising capital so that you can build it properly. So in funding, there are stages. Number one, your MVP stage, where you are raising capital just to build the product. Second, your product go-to-market stage. That means when you are in the production stage, you don't have money. You need capital to create the product to go in the market. The third stage is your scale-up stage. That means you're there in the market, you're doing some business, but then you want to grow. You want to probably become a little bit of big. Your production needs to grow more. For that, you need working capital. There, working capital can have two modes. A, you get a equity funding. People are investing in your company and getting an equity. Second, you get a debt funding. That means people are giving you money with a monthly or yearly percentage. You can choose any one of them depending on your business model, right? Then comes your growth stage. So after scale up stage, you have growth stage. In growth stage, you need to raise capital to move faster. Maybe your production pipeline now needs a lot of input, lot of money to grow your business and then make it sustainable, right? There are multiple different stages, but then I am not sure how many of you are coming from that kind of background where you are in growth stage at the moment. So once you are there, I'll be happy to probably share. I have a blog which I write. If you put my name in Google or any search engine, my name is Arijit Bhattacharya. I'll put that in chat. You can find out my website. You can read from my blogs. I usually write those things for humanity so that people can get a little bit of advantage and happiness. And of course, they can grow. Now, when you try to do all these kind of stuff, what is the easiest way to start a business? Number one easy thing is start a technology business, becoming a tech consultancy company. Second, you can probably create a product which is maybe mind-blowing. Example, it can be a product which is solving issues of women, maybe a security application to give security to women. If you have that kind of idea in your head, you're creating that kind of application. Number one, raising capital. Number two, growth becomes very fast. So better you have such kind of small ideas. We can always brainstorm about it. And I think that I'll be overshooting my time after 1 minute. So I better stop myself and open the door for Q&A if you have any. I tried my best to make it viable and give it a justice with short time. Usually for the organizers, such kind of subject usually takes a minimum 2 hours time to define. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Bhattacharya, for the enlightening presentation. Now it's time for your questions. Please type them in the chat box and I'll read them out for Dr. Bhattacharya to answer all your questions. We have our first question from Rinjin Dorji. The question says, how should we integrate AI?
It depends on your business model, what business you are running. I don't know that. Define me your business model. I can tell you how can you define AI. AI can work in any different industry. What's your industry?
Generic. He mentions generic on a very generic note.
Come on, man. You can use AI in a health tech startup. Like for an example, if you can define the skin tone, the color of the skin to understand whether the person have got fever or not, right? If you're in food business, you can use AI to define the quality of the food that is being served. If you are in probably in tech business, you can use AI to make it very faster. If you are probably in garments business, you can use AI to create multiple different models and put different garments in the model's body. So it depends. I mean, it cannot be answered like this generic. You can use AI in various different ways.
All right. Thank you, sir. We have our next question from Prabin Buddhacharya. He asks, should we try to handle all the aspect of business like finance, sales, and marketing?
Yeah, you need to. As an entrepreneur, you need to learn almost everything. As a startup, initially, you probably don't know everything. Even I didn't know it, to be very honest, right? So when I started, I just completed my 12th exam. And I just left my engineering. I started doing economic statistics, mathematics, just because I'm not coming from the business background. I was all along a science student, right? I took EcoStat math just because I wanted to understand the economics part of business. Then I did my master in computer application while running my business, right? So as an entrepreneur, if you ask me this question that should we understand all these, the answer is yes. If you ask me a question, shall we take some people who can understand this in my team? The answer is also yes. Always try to get a co-founder. As I said earlier, if you are a techie, if you are coming from tech background, get someone on board who understand the management and finance part of it. But learn it on your own. In due course of time, maybe in 1 year time or 2 years, learn those kind of stuff. It is important.
Thank you, sir. We have our next question from Mr. Arjun. He asked, how can we be sure that the funding given by the investors is enough for a little start?
It depends on your ask money. So you need to define how much money you need for your own business. Example, if you need 100 rupees to start your business, an investor will expect that you'll be investing 20 rupees. You can always ask for 80 rupees. So it depends on your business plan and your asking money. It is not dependent on the investor how much they can invest. It depends on you how much you need. And it depends on the business model how much you need.
Thank you, sir. Another question we have from Shikandar. They're asking, what are the key strategies businesses can use to maintain competitive advantage in rapidly changing markets?
Super. Understanding the market, read a lot, talk with the industry leaders like us, travel a lot. You cannot get these kind of information by just reading some magazine. Magazine will give you one perspective. It is coming from one kind of brain wavelength. But then if you are really keen to understand about market changes, go and watch each and every event that is happening. Try to participate over there, irrespective of the fact where you are. It can be Nepal, it can be India, it can be Thailand, it can be Indonesia, it can be Korea, it can be Australia, doesn't matter. Please attend those seminars, talk to people, get a notebook, take notes, and then you yourself tally that with some kind of news that is coming up. One example that you can follow is BBC News. Always try to follow that. They usually give proper news. CNBC is a great way to get those kind of information. There are magazines which is there. Even you can follow our blog. We always put the latest trend that is happening. I'll try to put that in the chat box as well. There are multiple hundreds of writing that we usually write. So you can follow that. Next question, please, while I share that.
So the next question we have is from Altaf Hussein Naim, who's asking, for having successful business, which one is first the most necessary, finance, sales, or marketing?
All are necessary, but at the top-notch point, if I define, first is your finance, second is your sales, then comes your marketing.
The next question that we have is, how much is the packaging of a product important during pilot launch of the business?
Very important. If your product is good and you are completely into it, you yourself will actually buy your own product, then invest at least 40% of your money on creating a great package. Otherwise, it's not going to float in the market.
Right. Thank you, sir. Another question we have from Himesh, who says, Dear sir, I'm a university student and my major is IT. Could you please give me an idea how should I combine my IT skills to become a good entrepreneur as a beginner? Thank you.
Super. Well, in IT, you can choose any line. For an example, in today's world, don't flow by the way that AI buzz is there, so you should start a AI startup. Maybe you can start a data analytics startup, right? So there will be multiple AI company who will be getting data, gathering data. There will be e-commerce companies. There will be sales funnels. Why don't you float a company which can define the data collection and then give a proper analytics to these companies? So targeting such kind of market analysis is crucial. So as a IT student, you can always go with such kind of cases. Second thing that you can do, you can always easily start a web app application development company, which is much more easier to start and then sustain.
Thank you, sir. Another question that we have is, how can sharing our personal stories help in business?
A lot. If you are in a business conference, or if you are probably in an investor meetup, when you talk about your own story, be authentic. Don't lie. As much truth as you speak, people will appreciate you. So try to be very original when you talk about your own story. And that is crucial, important, most important, I should say.
Thank you, sir. Another question we have from Ibrahim Jahid, who's asking, what is the simplest way to start a business? Where should you begin?
Ibrahim, do you have a girlfriend? If you have a girlfriend, my dear, then you need to understand this question is actually, we shouldn't ask this question in business world or in love world. What is the easiest way to get a girl? There is no answer, right? So there is no easy way to do business. There is a way to get risk, optimize it, and then grow. The best thing that you can do if you really want to start your business, ask yourself why you want to start your business. I started because I wanted to give job to lot many people. And my second cause was I wanted to tell stories from Sanskrit, Dravid, and Pali to the world. And I chose game development as a medium. Now I floated that. We started creating movies, we started creating garments, we started creating cosplay, we do VR, we do AR, but the base is same. So ask yourself why you want to start your business. If you find that why, start it. Don't even wait for me to give you that answer. There is no answer.
Thank you, sir. The next question that we have is from Biman Aryal, who's asking, I have started an educational package as a startup, but I'm not able to sell the service as much as I wanted. How can I increase it, sir?
Where exactly you're doing it, my dear? It's good that you have started your own venture. May I understand the details? Because I don't know about your business. If I know the details, I'll be in a better position to give you answer. Don't ask this question probably in the second phase. We can do it maybe later on. You have my credentials. I'll write my email ID over here. Shoot me a question there. I will give you answer, but I need complete details.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Next question we have is from Mirza Sium Masood. Myself, Mirza Sium Masood, I appreciate your short and insightful presentation. You are successful and inspiration for all of us. My question is, from your experience, which aspect or energy of a person should focus on in the journey of business?
I didn't get the last part. Which energy?
From your experience, which aspect or energy a person should focus on in the journey of business?
Ethics. First and only answer, ethics. When you run your business, always be ethical. If you're not ethical, that's not business, that's cheating, right? For an example, betting or gambling is not gaming. Okay, that's gambling. If you work on, example, if you are in the food industry, you start a restaurant business. Kindly, I have seen that, at least I've seen in India, lot many restaurant, they use dead meat, dead animals, you know, and they give it to people. They eat it and they say that it is less costly. You are harming people health. Eventually the food inspector will come, they will shut you down, right? So when you start a business, initially it might feel you are doing authentic, you are ethical, but then you are not getting a lot of customer. But in long run, you will sustain, you will grow, people will respect you, and eventually you will make money. Any short-term gain, it's a beautiful question, guys. Any short-term gain, you feel that in a short term, I'm making a lot of money, don't go for that. You will never sustain. Life curve is very simple curve. If you grow like this, there is a curvature which will come like this, down. Okay. So when you grow, try to grow very simple way. That's the reason you have got staircase. Yeah.
Thank you for your answer, sir. We have our next question from Dipesh Chaudhary, who's asking, should we start tech business or product business in this era to grow fast, in your opinion?
I love products. Definitely, I'll say yes, but then it depends which market you are in. Product business running is very challenging. And when I started, let me tell you, I only had 49 rupees in my pocket, nothing else. Okay, just nothing else. 49 rupees is less than $1. Okay, so if you don't have money, you have passion, and you really want to create a product, that's where you should be if you have that inclinedness. But there's a small tips on this. If you have created your product, try to see if it is patentable or not. If yes, investors do have a tendency to fund a patentable product. Second, crucial point. I don't know about your team strength. Get a woman in your team. There are funds nowadays who is investing money on woman-led business. Third, getting a grant from the ministry will be much more easier if you're a 3-people team, right? I hope I gave justice to your question.
Thank you, sir, for answering all the questions, and wonderful questions, everyone. To all of those whose questions were not answered, I would like to inform that we've placed a Google form in the chat box regarding the feedback. So I request you all all the participants to kindly fill it out. Wonderful questions, everyone. Thank you for your active participation. Now we have a special.
I'm sorry,
Yes.
I'm sorry, Tamanna. Can I answer the last one? I can see someone is from Bhutan.
Yes, please, sir.
I have been to your country, my dear. It's a beautiful country. I've been there 2-3 times. I helped 3 businesses over there to grow. One of the business is probably one of the biggest animation farm. I helped them to grow once upon a time. Your question is basically, is it a suitable country to run a content business or not? The answer is yes. If you're in content business, content can run from anywhere in the world. You just need a good internet connection and you need to understand how the social media works. That's it. Sorry to hold you back. I'm so sorry. I couldn't resist myself. I saw Bhutan, so I answered that.
Thank you, sir. It's not a problem. Wonderful questions, everyone. Thank you for your active participation. Now we have a special treat for you. We'll be showcasing a cultural video that highlights the rich and diverse heritage of India.